Welcome to In the Black, the podcast that shines a light on resilience, transformation, and the power of reinvention. I'm Araceli, and each week, my co-host Shannon and I sit down with incredible women who have faced some of life's hardest challenges, from personal setbacks to societal obstacles, and have emerged on the other side stronger, driven, and ready to make a difference.
On In the Black, we celebrate these stories of strength and success, diving deep into the journeys of women who turned pain into purpose, adversity into action, and now dedicate themselves to making the world a better place in their own way. They're here to inspire, share hard-earned wisdom, and remind us all, no matter how dark things may seem, life is cyclical and dawn is coming. So whether you're looking for inspiration, motivation, or just a reminder that change is always possible, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to In the Black.
Welcome to today's episode. We're thrilled to have Michale with us. Michale is a passionate wellness expert who has turned her own health journey into a mission to help others achieve lasting wellness. Overcoming challenges like amenorrhea, osteoporosis, and weight issues, Michale has become a beacon of hope for those seeking to make long-term changes to their health. She's the founder of Fit and Healthy Nutritional Consulting and the co-creator of the Reset, Recharge, Rebuild method, a customized 9-step approach to weight loss and optimal health. Michale has worked with top figures in the motivational and health space, including Bob Proctor, and authored her own book, The Fit and Healthy Plan. With over 22 years in clinical experience, she's now helping clients achieve their best health while enjoying a balanced life in Mexico with her family. Michale, we're so excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here too. This is going to be fun.
First of all, you're in Mexico. Let's talk about that. I mean, hello. Give us a little bit of introduction of yourself and also how you ended up in Mexico.
Well, thank you so much. So my name is Michale Hartte, and we are in Mexico because this is basically living our dream life. And I had this vision about 27 years ago, living in a place like this, and now it's a reality. It's actually better than what I imagined. So I've always wanted to live on the beach in the Caribbean, warm, and be kind of just in a place where being healthy is inevitable because we walk everywhere. We eat all fresh organic foods. The vibe is amazing. So it's really where you feel good. This is amazing. And not only is it amazing for my husband and I, but my kids are here too. And so that even makes it even more amazing. So basically what we're doing is we are literally living our dream life in Mexico. We are from Canada. We moved here 3 years ago. And the reason why we moved here is because of when the COVID pandemic happened. I had a physical practice where I actually had a clinic for 20 years. Okay. So I had women come to me with their kids and all this kind of thing. They used to come into our clinic and I used to help them one-on-one for that many years. But then what happened was after COVID, we had to shut our doors. And I'm like, I'm not shutting my practice. No way. This is like a life mission. I'm here to help women empower themselves to be able to lose weight and keep it off for life the healthy way. Okay. Which then impacts the family. So I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to do now? We're not going to stop. What do we do? And Reese is like, my husband, let's build this online business. He's always wanted that anyway. So it's like, okay, well, how do we do that? Of course, we're going to hire someone, a coach, because I don't know how to do it. You hire someone to show you how to do it quicker, faster, because you got to build the momentum. And so we hired someone to help us go online and we fine-tuned our program. And now we're able to do it anywhere in the world. And we're now in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, living our dream life, helping thousands of women in North America reach their health and wellness goals.
Yeah. I love that so much. I think that is definitely one of my dreams is once my kids are a little bit older, I want to traipse around and probably stay somewhere warmish, but I don't know that I'll stay in one place for too long. So that's really awesome that you have created your dream life with your husband. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
We're kind of in the same boat where we moved down to Florida recently, and it's been a dream of mine. I didn't think that we would move here until I was 70, 80 years old, So to be able to live down here while we're still young and enjoying, working from here instead of where we were from, which was like the Midwest, where it's very cloudy and lots of cloud coverage most of the year. And here it's just sunny days. I love it. So I think maybe I could see us moving down to Mexico or somewhere super fun as well. The vibe in Mexico is just so lovely, where people are so, they just talk to you. They're just like, hi, how are you? You know, talking to everyone. So how has your experience from the culture in Canada to Mexico been?
I love Canadians. I love my Canadian friends. In fact, we still stay in touch frequently. So, and they're very friendly. And what I love about Mexico is it's like going back in time. Everything, you can walk everywhere. There are corner stores. There's not malls. And the vibe, you're right. It's very authentic. What it is they authentically care about you. And so much is service oriented. They're craftsmen. It's not cookie cutter as much. They really value labor, and it's a lot less costly. You can live very healthy. I wanted to put myself in an environment where I would walk everywhere, like have everything in place for me to be healthy, so that I can, be the beacon of wellness for others as well. And not only that, my husband's a lot. Of course, he's healthier now too, because he can walk everywhere. The kids are seeing a new culture, and they're flourishing here as well. In fact, it is a family business. And so what happened was, after we moved here, our two boys, they're 24 and 19. They had their own kind of side business together. They're Tristan and Trey. I'll call them TNT Dynamite Duo. Anyways, they had their own little business on the side. They're entrepreneurs, 24 and 19, working together. And then they were doing something that it wasn't as passionate that they'd want. And so they were watching Reese and I create this business online and helping all these women transform their bodies. And they decided to hop on board and say, hey, what about this idea? And so once they decided they used their skill set, us as a family, and now it's a family business. And so we have so much fun. We have so much fun doing this all together. So they are also, what I have to say, what I love about this too is, now that they kind of have their role, which is the social media aspect, when I teach others on social media, mindset, diet, lifestyle, exercise, I'm inadvertently teaching them, because they watch it. They do all the reels and everything. I'm almost like teaching them, like, so that they could learn from me, but not directly. So my biggest thing is raising a healthy family. That is a big value of mine, and I get to do it through this business as well. So it's kind of like super far reaching what I do.
That is so amazing. Oh, to live the dream and your whole family join you with you.
Yeah. I know. Pinch myself. It's happening. Every morning I do. I pinch myself, and I'm so grateful. That's how I start my day. Big smile.
I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and take us into one of our first questions. So, Michelle, you've experienced firsthand the challenges of amenorrhea and osteoporosis. Can you share more about what these conditions were like for you and how they impacted your life in your younger years?
Yeah, well, that all started with I've been fit my whole life. So I'm super athletic. I love sports. I got to move. I have a lot of energy. Probably see that. And that's just how I'm built. All right. And so being athletic, I look differently than other girls. And this is like around 12 or 13. And, but I guess it looked like I was gaining some muscle, and I got this message saying, you actually look like you're getting big, overweight. And I'm like, oh, I took a step back going, I never even thought about that. I didn't even look at my weight at all, like zero, not even till then. But I thought, well, if I'm gaining weight, then people won't like me. And I thought, well, but I want to be liked, and I want to be part of like my peers and be respected. And I thought, okay, well, I should probably lose some weight then, so that I'm accepted, right? Because that's the impressionable years. Well, I went about it the wrong way. I didn't know how else to do it. Okay, because I didn't even think about it. I thought, okay, well, I'll just eat less, like I'll eat less. And I did a really good job of eating less, okay, to the point of having an eating disorder, to becoming fit and healthy, to skinny fat, to be honest. Like I was skinny, but I was like jiggly and fat. But I had this eating disorder because I was afraid of eating to gain the weight. So alongside of that came this, first came the osteoporosis piece. And I was diagnosed later in years of, having, I lost weight, but I also lost my bone mass and I lost my menstrual cycle. And so it was all because I was afraid of eating. Okay. That was the biggest hurdle, was the mindset piece. If I eat, I'm going to gain weight, but I know I need to eat to be right. So I had to toggle that for a while. But once I did all the wrong things first until I hit rock bottom. I remember the day that I did, I'm like, come on, I gotta fix this somehow. I found the solution and I went ahead with it, and it turned everything around. So amenorrhea, for those that don't know what that is, that's a loss of menstrual cycle. Osteoporosis is when you have brittle bones. I had both, and I reversed it all naturally.
Can you take us through when you said that you hit rock bottom?
Yeah.
And you remember it vividly? Could you talk us through, and then how did you come up with finding that solution?
Yeah, exactly. I remember this was in Vancouver. So I'm going to, I'm studying, to be a so I was going to be, I was getting my pre-med at that time because I was really interested in biology and getting into that space of being a lab technician. So I needed all my pre-med. And so I was going to school in Vancouver. And at the time that I was going to school, I was also had this eating disorder, right? And so I was battling with the eating disorder and trying to get my education. And what I was doing was, it wasn't that I wasn't trying to get my body back. I was following the wrong advice. And the wrong advice that I call now is called the Hollywood way, okay? Which is the louder voice, which is, I call it the Hollywood way. And the Hollywood way is this: eat less, exercise more, take this pill. That's the Hollywood way to lose weight, right? And I was doing really, really following that. What do we eat though to lose weight? So I was following that advice, which is, don't have butter, have margarine, because margarine is heart healthy. Butter is bad. Do low fat, because if you eat fat, you're going to gain fat. Okay. Don't have sugar. That's evil. No, have Splenda, which is artificial sweetener. That's better for you. So I did follow all that advice. Okay. I got really sick following that advice. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm doing everything I'm told to do, and I'm actually worse. And that's what I mean by literally bawling my head off, going, what am I going to do? Like, I'm following everything, even calling, people that we knew. What do I do? No answers. And I really believe this had to be in a divine intervention. This may sound woo-woo, but I'm just going to share it. Okay. So here I am walking in Kitsilano, and I'm walking down the street. I'm literally at my lowest. Listen, I'm fatigued. I'm a skinny fat. I'm not getting my results, and I'm freaking out now because I have a disease, like a true blown disease. I'm like, if I fall, I could break a bone and end up in the hospital. That's scary. And I'm young. I'm only 32 at this time. Okay. 32, which is very young to have osteoporosis. Anyways, so I'm walking to Kitsilano. I'm walking down the street. It was West 4th, I believe. And there was this one bookstore. Okay. We didn't have Google. We didn't have all those electronic devices. We didn't, because remember, I'm like 58 this year. So it was like a long time ago. So I'm walking down 4th, and on the right-hand side was Mosaic Books. And on the shelf in the windowsill was this one magazine that really stood out to me. And it was called Alive Health magazine. It was almost like I saw it and I couldn't not see it. I'm like, whoa. I want to go and check out this magazine, because like, I feel dead. I just want to feel alive health. That's what I want. So I walk into the Mosaic Books, I pull it off the shelf, and I start to read the magazine in Mosaic Books. And I'm like, what? Flip, read. This is not what I've been following at all. This is completely opposite to what I've been doing. What is Whole Foods, sunlight, supplements, filtered water, healthy fats. And I'm like, walking for exercise, like not like aerobics for 2 hours. Okay. And I'm like, what? Okay. How come I haven't seen, what is this? And I'm like, what I'm doing isn't working. I'm not going to keep doing what's not working. That's ridiculous. That's actually called stupid. Right. So I'm like, okay, well, let me start to dig into this. And I'm telling you, I bought the magazine. I came home. I started to read it. I'm like, this feels intuitively like my whole body lit up. I'm like, I had no words. So then I started to follow what was in here, but I was so sick. I hired a natural doctor this time. I had to, because again, that's like a coach, right? And so I found him, Dr. Kelly Farnsworth, in West Vancouver. I called him up. I said, hey, anyways, I went and saw him. He put me on some, I know what they are now because I'm actually a practitioner now, a clinical practitioner. So I know what he put me on. But anyways, he put me on some stuff, and I showed him the magazine, and he showed me how to eat the right way for me to reverse osteoporosis, to build my bones and get my menstrual cycle back. You want a menstrual cycle. Women are so afraid of that. Are you kidding me? No. We want that menstrual cycle. Okay. That is how we actually detoxify. There's so much around that menstrual cycle that I can get into. Okay. So anyways, I got my menstrual cycle back almost like very soon, because he put me on some things, which I do know what they are now. And then I started to follow this advice. So, and it was basically flipping everything on its head. It was opposite to what I was doing. The first thing I thought of is, yay, I'm getting healthy. But the second thing is, I'm mad. I got angry. I'm like, how many other women are following the wrong advice and not even seeing this? Because remember, the wrong advice, the holiday way, is the big voice. That's what women are listening to, okay? Because it's business. So then I'm like, okay, well, this voice needs to be bigger. It's really quite small. I'm like, I want to be that voice. I want to be a woman's advocate to help women get their power back in a healthy way. So we have the Hollywood way. Like I said, I coined that myself because I'm like, that's the Hollywood quick fix and fall, to the healthy way. That's long and lasting. Okay. And we're human beings. That's robotic. This is real for beings. We're from nature. This is natural. And so so first of all, I got angry going, how could that even happen? How could they do that? So then I'm like, okay, stop, pause. You need to get educated and get the letters beside your name, because you're blonde and you're a female back then. They're not going to listen to you if you don't have letters beside your name. Lots of education. I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow this path. I'm going to be the example, and I'm going to go back to school. But I shifted school. So I was going to be a medical lab technician, so I used the pre-med anyways, because I needed to get that to be a clinical nutrition. So I decided to enroll to get a degree in clinical nutrition. So I have those letters. I have more letters than that, but I started that way. And when I started that way, I knew it wasn't everything, but it was a good start, because listen, you're made of the foods you eat. And we need to eat foods that the cells are recognizing, not that they're not. So you can see how passionate I am. I'm sorry, but I just have this real thing about why I'm here. And so now I've been doing this 24 years, actually, not 22. It's actually 24 now. And so I'm empowering women to get their health back the right way, healthy way.
I love that so much. Araceli and I have actually had this conversation several times, because I don't have a background in nutrition or fitness or anything like that, and she does. And I've recently encountered some health issues, and we were talking about, I went to a Western doctor who said, oh, it's fine, just eat whatever you want. And then I started looking up like different foods for my particular condition, and I was like, that was the wrong advice. And so it's just fascinating to me to hear someone who kind of has a similar story, where you were like doing all the things that you were told to lose weight the Hollywood way. And now we see it even more so with the, I think it's shots that they do primarily now, and different things like that. Yeah. When in reality, that's not giving us the longevity. And I don't know, it's really fascinating from the perspective of someone who doesn't have that background at all. But Araceli has been awesome about helping me out, figuring out, like, just eat real food that your body recognizes. She talks about that all the time. And so I am very, very curious, when you decided to transition that, obviously the skinny fat look was kind of the in thing for a long time, because you needed to be so skinny. I know I remember being in high school and I had a booty, and it was like the ghetto booty, but I didn't even weigh 100 pounds. And so, like, I definitely have some recollections of how important it was to be skinny. And even if that meant you had to lose all of your muscle mass, That was the main thing. So you talked about the mindset shift in that, and that's really the part of this podcast that I'm super interested in, is how people change their mindset. Like, what were the day-to-day things that you did to try to create a different mindset for yourself?
It was gradual, I have to say. It's not like an overnight pill. And the first thing is I just decided. It was all about, and listening to my inner voice. That has always been my guide, my inner voice. And I wasn't going to stop until I was successful. Okay. And so I found a different direction. It was working. Of course, you're going to keep trying to do that. But I'll let you know, with an eating disorder, you know how that was challenging. I was, even if it was healthy food, even if it was whole food, I was still afraid of eating it. Okay. And it took years to overcome that. And I've been sitting with this. How did I overcome it for good? Okay. Because remember, it was years of exploring and all that. You know what it was? I went into the logics of, okay, once I figured out how to eat to release the fat, build the muscle, look and feel 10 years younger, how I was able to do that logically, I'm like, oh, I don't ever have to worry about my weight again ever. And so I have freedom now. Before I was in prison, and now I have total freedom. I don't even look at calories or if it's going to gain, never even enter my mind, because I've perfected the way to do it so well that my body tells me when it's hungry. I eat, and it's very nourishing and delicious. And then I stop when I'm 80% full, and I get on with my day. I don't even think about that. I think about, oh, here's what I think about. Okay, what do I feel more like, beef and eggs? Well, you guys all have different eating templates. Or do I feel more like some oatmeal and some protein powder and almond butter? Just because one is light, right? And the other one is more heavy and satiating. So I will run that through. This may sound kind of interesting, but it's an actual fact. I will run those meals through my body, and it will tell me which one to have. And so then when I have it, then, I have energy all throughout the whole day. I have no gas bloating. I have nothing. I just I float throughout my whole day, and I'm very sharp. So once you get to the point of reading your body to that degree, like I was, then there's a lot of freedom there. But again, it took me time. I figured it out. But again, it was logical. There are ways. There is logical ways for you to eat to get your result. When you find that way, you don't have to think about it anymore. You just do it. Okay. And so now that I've been doing that for myself, I've created this formula for other women to do that for them. And that's where the 9-step came in. It's like every single step is dialed in for every client. So yes, it's a 9-step plan. It covers all your bases, the low hanging fruit, not that high shiny object. No, we do the low hanging fruit, the foundational plan, get that right. But each of those steps, remember, we are human, but we also are unique, biochemically unique. So even though the 9 steps is common among all human beings, each step is dialed in for the individual. Because I'll let you know right now, customization and personalization is the wave of 2025. We can't do the cookie cutter stuff anymore. We know that. It's not working. Okay. So we have to dial it in for our bodies. It's a different world out there. It needs to be customized. If you ever want to get success, go find someone that has already done it, who can dial it in for you. Stop wasting your time and get your health back. It's the best thing you can do.
Love that. So question number 2, at least on my side of it, you've worked with many clients on their wellness journeys. What are some common struggles people face when it comes to reversing health issues like amenorrhea, and how do you help them overcome them?
What I do is right now I'm working with women over 40 who want to drop 20 or more pounds in 90 days or less without giving up their favorite food or wine, so they can keep it off forever. That's all I do day in and day out. It's not just me, it's my whole team now. Okay. So I'm the head of it as a practitioner, but I have other team members that are playing their role so that every client that hops on is happy with their result. Okay. So that's the first piece. The second piece is, what do I see very often that they're not doing? What is their biggest challenge, their biggest obstacle? Okay. The first thing is they're looking at the Hollywood way, the marketing way. Okay. They're programmed that way. It's not their fault. Remember, that's the bigger voice. So the program is, okay, in order for you to lose weight, you need to eat every 2 hours. That would be one. Every 2 or 3 hours, you need to boost that metabolism to be able to lose weight. So I see that almost all the time. And because I always ask, I ask the people, like women, tell me about what you're eating in a day and when you're eating it. Oh, I eat, this time, but they're so close together. And I go, well, why are you doing that? Oh, because isn't it time to eat? Like, aren't I supposed to eat every 2 or 3 hours? I go, oh, really? Okay. What does your body say? Are you hungry when you eat? No, I'm not. Okay, but why are you eating then? Like, you're not listening to your body. I'm not saying that, but you're not. Okay, why are you eating? Oh, because I was told that I should be eating every 2 or 3 hours. Otherwise, I'm going to lower my metabolism. I said, okay, well, let's stop that right now. Okay, because that's not true. It's a myth. No, what we do is we wait till we're hungry, because you're a human being. You're not like a program. You're not a robot, right? And so, in fact, if you do eat every 2 or 3 hours, you're going to gain weight. Why? There are conditions that do need that. Okay. But for the average women, there are. Okay. For the average woman, right? What you're doing is you're stimulating fat gain. Why? Because your hormones are being released to put the energy into the body when it's not ready for it. What's it going to do? Store it. It's not going to release it as energy for, movement and all that. No. And that's why a lot of them, the first thing I say to them is, how about this? How about we get in touch with when your body's actually hungry? Let's start there. Okay. And we'll wait. And just when you eat, pay attention to when you're actually 80% full, not over full. Just practice that in the beginning. Okay. What happens? Hormonally, their profile is so much better. Why? Because they're not asking the body to store the energy. They're only eating it when they need it, and they're not going to store it. They're going to use it as energy, and they're going to use it as fuel for their cells to have cellular function. Okay. And this is so much about weight loss is about hormones. Of course it is. Okay. But if you're eating every 2 or 3 hours, you're telling the body to store fat because insulin gets raised. So much of this is about insulin. Okay. You guys have heard that? Every time you eat, you raise insulin. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. It's a storage hormone. It's designed to store things. If you're eating every 2 or 3 hours, you're storing things all the time. You don't want to do that. Okay. And also, you're disrupting your gut. I have gas and bloating. I can't seem to digest my foods. Yeah, but you haven't finished digesting the last bit. Now you're adding more and it's compacting. Okay. And so that's the first piece I do, is get them to get in touch with their bodies, not the marketing. What is your body saying? Oh, I'm actually hungry. Oh, great. And a lot of them have never felt that ever. And they have insulin resistance. They come to me with PCOS and all these things. Okay. That's why you have PCOS, because you have insulin resistance, because you keep raising insulin and the cells go, I'm tired of you trying to give me that message. I'm resisting you. That's what weight gain is. Okay. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so that alone is like game changing. So we spread the meals apart. Yeah. You eat 2 or 3 times a day, eat, done, go perform, do what you need to do. Don't worry about food. You don't have to think about food anymore. And then, 4 or 5 hours later, you're getting hungry. Great. The body actually needs nutrition then. That is one of the biggest things I always say. If I could put a billboard up there, it's eat when you're hungry, stop when you're 80% full. That would be the number one billboard for women to help them get to their best weight and health and keep it that way.
I have literally never heard that in my whole life. It was 3 meals, at least 2 snacks. Yeah, that's all I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Blowing my mind here.
93% of the population is metabolically unhealthy. If that was working, then we wouldn't see that number. Young kids are overweight. That's not their fault. They have fatty liver disease. 50% of North Americans have fatty liver disease. That's ridiculous. They're overfat. The kids are overfat. We have to turn this around. And it starts, I don't like to see that. Okay. It starts with the women. It's up to us. We need the right information. I don't like to see sick kids. Doesn't have to be that way. So sorry, just cracking up. It really, we need the kids, we need the women to get on board.
Yeah, I have a child with diabetes and another with reactive hypoglycemia. And so that has been interesting navigating because it is different eating styles. And it was so fascinating because with Elena, they said, she can eat whatever she wants, just make sure that you're dosing for it. And it doesn't really work that way because then you see the high A1C and you see all of the issues are still there even if she's dosing more, and all you see at that point is dosing more. And so we have tried out several different things with her. And it turns out that when it's high protein and high fiber, she stabilizes way better. And same for Ajax, who is reactive hypoglycemic. That stability is there when we do way less carbs, and it's been, I don't know, it's just an experimentation thing for us. But yeah, that was fascinating.
So you're on the right track, and the carbs are good if they're vegetables, but they're not good if they're from a barcode, a package, or a box. We need to eat foods that and so in the beginnings with kids, they're so tied to foods that aren't serving them. So it can take time, but don't give up. No, you be the example. It's the mother, it's the female, it's the parents, the caregivers. They are the example. Okay, if they're telling the kids to eat a certain way and they're not, that's not like, what is that? It's more of what they see. So that's why I could have worked with any type of condition, any kind of, except for cancer. I don't work with active cancer or mental illness. Those are the two I don't. But I could have worked with any condition in my space, but I'm like, how can I help the world be a better place? This is the impact that I'm on now. Okay. It's the women. When we get the women on the right track, then the partners come on board. The kids come on board. It's the women that can help turn this around. So that's why I decided. And then I went after metabolic health. Why? 93% of the population isn't metabolically healthy. What does that lead to? Heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, all because of the metabolic health. If we can fix metabolic health, we can help the women to help the kids and the husbands or the partners. So yes. So this podcast I'm very grateful to, if we can get this message out to women, that there's a better way, and healing is the way. Healthy is the way to weight loss. It's not the Hollywood way. There is a better way. And you know that because that's not really helping you at all. It's actually setting you back. You're still sick. This gets you healthy. You're overweight because you're not well. We get you well to lose the weight. So it's a big deal.
I love how passionate you are about doing this, because a lot of times we run into trainers who aren't, and they're just in there just to, so it's refreshing having someone on here so passionate. So thank you. I had a quick question, not looking at the questions that I had prepared, but so you said you were always athletic and always into health. So where did that fit in with your husband? Was he also on the same path as you, or did you make an impact in his life or influence his life? And then raising your kids, how was that in making it be a whole?
That's a great question. So first of all, I have to say, and I'm okay to say this, I kissed a lot of frogs before I met my husband. Just say that. I found my prince. Here's the thing. I only want the best. So I'm like, no, I'm going to choose, and I'm going to just see what's out there and just filter. So it wasn't until later that I actually met my husband, Reese. But not only that, these divine interventions, it's not woo-hoo. It's just like, you wouldn't believe how we were brought together. It's like, it's its own movie. And even the kids, this is a movie set. Okay. This is a true movie. So basically what I did was when I did meet him, when I saw him, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's in this space. He was in the health industry. He already was, and so was I. We both already in that. He was a manager, and I was a rep that was repping throughout North America, teaching stores about beauty and health. Okay. But he was the manager of this company in the natural health space. So we were already in the natural health space together. Okay. So he was already on that path. So, right. And so when we met, he's 72 this year and I'm 58. So I met, what I loved about him was not only was he healthy, he's very wise. And I'm a student. I want to learn more. Right. And I wanted to meet a partner that was also wise and healthy. And he's good looking too. I have to say, he's striking for me. He's great. So no, he was already healthy in that respect. Now, when it came to the boys, yeah. So we kind of just had this conversation. Do you want to have kids? Do you not want to have kids? And it was like, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we had Tristan. So it didn't take very long. But the moment that I got pregnant, then I immediately went all about raising the healthiest baby I could ever do. So I shifted some of my behaviors. Like I was having a bit of wine before, I never had it. You know what I mean? I shifted things, went extremely clean and healthy and everything. It was all about him. And then he was born all natural. And so with the conversation, you know what? We were so like-minded, Reese and I, that there was no real controversy, nothing. It was, we were on agreement with everything. So maybe that wasn't the answer that you're looking for, but I think we were brought together to make an impact for other people because the boys, they're very unique as well. They've never seen a doctor for a medical condition. Okay. I treated them all naturally. They're 24 and 19. In fact, the first time that Trey ever went to a walk-in clinic was when he fell off a swing and he hit his head, and they took him to the walk-in, then to the hospital, and he had no hospital records, nothing, because he was born at home. So this is almost like modern day hippies almost, but you know what I mean? Like I just raised them all natural, and they're super boys. They no many, like nothing. They're extremely healthy and fit. So I think maybe we were all together to be the example. And only for us, like, listen, like we're not keeping this to ourselves either. That's the thing, is I'm like, family, here's the family. I don't know. We've been on magazines. So this is the Fit and Healthy family, if you can see here. This is us here. We've been on the covers of magazines because when we walk around, people go, oh my gosh, like, wow, you guys are like super fit and healthy. It's just how we live, right? And so we're here as the example to go, listen, you can be the same as well. You can be the same. And, you know, we can show you some tools, but really it's possible. So yeah, we were always on the same page.
I love that. That's so rare, I feel like. So you did find your prince.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, as you were raising your kids, you said, you know, it is kind of a challenging transition. I remember Ash learning that dessert was something that people had at home, because if we would have fruit or, you know, things like that, but we never had like dessert that was a going out thing. And I did always try to do the best that I could with the knowledge that I had. And so I think that's every mom's dream. And so I love the fact that you are giving people the tools to actually do that and do it well. Because I think, you know, we just look up whatever's online and try to do the best that we can. And if you don't actually know, it makes it very challenging. So if you had just a piece of advice for someone who is starting out and maybe not in the healthiest of realms, what would you tell them to start with?
Well, I would always start with, I don't know if you know this, but I probably didn't get into it, but because I was able to raise the boys so healthy, I did write a book because I'm like, I don't want to keep this information just to myself. So I did write the Fit and Healthy Plan, and it's the Healthy Diet and Lifestyle Plan Made Easy. This is for families. This is even for picky eaters. This is for emotional eaters. I laid it all out in here, and I'm happy to give away my ebook to anyone who wants it. There's amazing recipes. It helps, like I said, picky eaters, emotional eaters. I start with the 10 natural laws of health because that's what it's based on. It's based on what we're designed to do. Okay. And it's step by step plus meal plans and recipes. And I'm doing this to help you guys. Okay. Okay. So you can get that link. Now, what would I say to somebody? I would say, first of all, start with whole foods, of course, because we live in a very fast-paced, stressful society, and we're so into this convenience foods that we just grab them mindlessly, the boxes, the barcodes, and the packages, the packaged food, the ultra processed foods, the infiltrating our food supply. And so the first thing I would say is, and I never had this conversation even 2 years ago, even know what real foods are. That is unbelievable that I have to say that. You actually need to even know what a real food is now, because it may look like a food, but it's not even food. So the first step is do your research to even know, is that real food? And the way to actually know that is go to a farmer's market. Is go to like a farmer's market and talk to the farmer. Like, how do you grow? How do you raise? Get in touch with your food supply. Your tissues are made of the foods you eat. And a lot of these ultra processed foods, they are hijacking your brain. They are making this foggy brain. They're causing inflammation. They're hijacking your kids. All the colors and all that, it's not even their fault. It's the chemicals, okay? And they're addicted to the chemicals. So what we want to do is start with, first of all, is it real food? And just find out what that is for you. I mean, I have it in my book, but really the power comes in you doing the research, you doing the work, you finding. And then if you come up with some roadblocks and you want a quicker, faster way, you hire someone that's already done it. Somebody who's already fit and healthy, not somebody and somebody who walks their talk. And that means asking them questions, because there's so much falseness out there that it's not, oh, I see it all the time. But authentically, find someone to help you, and you will shortcut your success. It will get rid of all that time so that you can move ahead with your health. So I would say, first of all, learn what real foods are and start to add them to your template, and get the kids involved, get them grocery shopping with you, teach them about real foods. For me, we had a garden in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, where I lived. I had a garden on purpose. Why? I was showing the boys, this is how food is grown. We'd go to farmer's market. I would pick up a real apple and say, and that would be their snack. They were raised that way. But even if your kids weren't, you can still turn it around. There's never, you can start now. If you don't start now, that's a problem. But start now, and start now with the real food piece. Because remember, your tissues are made of the foods that you eat. Start with that. Yeah. And support them. Support the farmers that are doing the right things. That's how we turn everything around. Okay? It's like vote with your grocery dollar. True. Then they'll make more of that. We can do this. We can turn it around if we're all together in this. So that's why we built a community. We have a school community, and it's a free community. And if anyone's looking for the real information, I can send that link too. And what we do is, these are for women over 40 who want to get their health back. And so we have that available as well.
I love that. Yes, share those links if you want to send them through the email, and then I'll post them for in the show links and then in the Instagram account. So
yeah,
this
is all free. This is literally, I'm giving this all to you. Okay. And so the power's in your hands. The information is out there. It's just up to you to say, I decided I do want to move forward. And it may sound super overwhelming. Oh my God, no, just start with one step, just one step. And that step will lead to another one. And that will lead to another one. Because remember, you're learning. Okay. And then you teach this. When you get it, you teach it. That's how we all can be healthy together.
The reason that our podcast is named In the Black is because we're talking about being in a positive place in your life. And so it's a financial term. In the red is in the negative, and in the black is in the positive. And so when you are thinking about transitioning your life from a negative to a positive, what does being in the black mean for you?
Well, it always starts with, first of all, starting each day fresh. Okay. Every day that I recommend you wake up, this is how I wake up. I wake up with a smile on my face, and I wake up with gratitude. Look at everything I have. Whatever you focus on grows, okay? So you start with the gratitude. When you have this gratitude, you draw more of that to you. It's called actually a reticular activating system to be truly. It's like whatever you think about, you will draw that to you. Just like if I said red car, you'll see red cars everywhere. So what you do is you start the day with what you want and gratitude of what you have. And so you fill the body with love, fill it with love. And I highly recommend that you leave the electronics away for the first 15, even 30 minutes. Try that. Because as soon as you get in your phone, you've given your power away. No, you tap into yourself, your intuition. You're a superhuman being. You have superhuman capacity. You have more than you can imagine that you can accomplish, but it's sitting back and just sitting in that space. Okay. Then get that morning routine going. Then I recommend looking at your phone. Okay. And then, answering whatever. But the first piece is gratitude, smile, and then envisioning. I meditate every morning. Okay. Meditation, I really believe, is almost like non-negotiable in today's day and age. Why? Because you're putting yourself into a space of healing and self-care. You're loving yourself. Instead of giving your power away, you're actually sitting in your power, and you're sitting in this space. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half. It could be 10, 15 minutes. So for me, every morning, that's part of my routine is I sit and I meditate, and I sit and I draw what I want to me. In fact, that's how I was able to get what I have now. Okay. And so I really believe that we need to start to employ these things. Okay. And when fear comes, doubt comes, anxiety comes, all these emotions come, just recognize it and go, oh, wow, look at that. It's coming again. Interesting. Okay. That's a learned behavior. You can unlearn them. Oh, okay. Look, okay. Interesting. Okay. What if, and you flip it on its head. What if, and then you move from fear to hope, from hate to love. You can flip it. You're changing the channel. You have that ability as a human being. Okay. You can flip the channel. Oh, I'm noticing that. What about this? And sit in this space. Okay. That you were practicing in the morning. Remember, you start the day practicing who you want to be and how your life, that you go back to that feeling again. When you get that low frequency, you go to this again. Because listen, if you can't create from scarcity, you can't create from fear and doubt. No, you will create more of that. Do you want that? No, you recognize and go, oh, I'm going to turn the channel. Then what you do is you move away from that, because you'll draw more of that to you. You don't want that, right? It's true. You're a magnet. You flip it and you open up your heart. So many women are closed. I understand. I was too for the longest time. Believe me, I didn't like myself for the longest time. I totally transformed everything. Okay. So what I do is I learned to open up my heart and trust and tap in. And when you do, you'll draw more of that to you. The more you sit in this space, the more you can create. You can create the life that you want when you open up this. That takes courage. But what are you going to do? Stay here? What's your life look like if you do? Not good. What about your kids? You're the example. They're watching everything you're doing. So a lot of what I do is actually, believe it or not, the example that I want for my kids. It's not me telling them, it's me doing it. And it does do this. We need more of this, going after what we want, than that.
I love it. Shannon and I were talking about that recently. So yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Where, and I know you're going to send us links, but where can our listeners find you?
Yeah, so we have an active community that it's called School. And so in School, SKOOL, it's a learning platform for women over 40 who want to, get to their best health and shape. And so I'll give you the link for that. But when you enter into that School community, guess what? I give away everything for free. Everything for free. My whole 9 steps is in there. Everything in there. Why? Because I want to give back. I want to give back. And if you want coaching on top of that, fine, but at least you have the right information to go from A to where you are to where you want to be. Okay. And a lot of this is primarily about metabolic health. Okay. Which is not right. So we want to get you to the best health and shape. So that is all for free. Once we let you in, so Reese, my husband, is the gatekeeper. And so he makes sure that it's the right community for you. Okay. So it's a high vibe community. And when you go in, you get to meet other women doing the same. Are you kidding me? That amplifies everything. You're not alone anymore. So not only do you have the community of like-minded individuals who are looking to, reach their next best physique and health, the healthy way, you also get my 9-step plan for free. And so you take it on your own. Like it's your own time that you can just go through it, but it's one step at a time. So you have the both. You have the community and that. And like I said, if you need more one-on-one help, then you can, book a call and we can see if it's the right fit for us. We have a paid community as well, which is more concierge. So I would say the school community would be good. And also if they do want a copy of my book, so it is sold out, like the physical copy is sold out. However, so what? We have electronics. I can send you the link. You get my free ebook. You'll get recipes. You'll get from start to finish, how to, first of all, I always start with like getting the foods that aren't healthy out of your kitchen and replacing them with, so it's how to clean out your cupboards, clean out the stuff that's not serving you, get it out, right? Give it to the food bank, give it to somebody who doesn't have any money, whatever. And then just refurbish your environment. You're only as healthy as your environment, people you surround yourself with, and your habitat. You want this to be the sanctuary, right? So I actually walk you through step by step in my book as well. The book is mostly for families who want to get healthy. The school community are for women over 40 who want to, get into their best shape and health. So I can offer that. I'm also very active on Instagram. Yeah, and I give a lot of my free quick tips in there, and you'll find me there. So I would say those would be the three.
As a woman over 40, I'm really excited to find school. I think it'll be awesome. But yeah, we really appreciate you coming on today. I can't wait to check out what you have to offer. And I know Aracelli's already done her homework. She's amazing about that. But yeah, it's been very nice meeting you and talking to you today.
Well, I really appreciate having me on the show. And my last bit of words is always just keep striving and look at yourself like a student. You never fail. No, never look at yourself as a failure. Always like you're learning something new. If you always look at life like a student, you will never fail. You will always succeed because you're just moving forward.
Hi, I'm Araceli, and I'm inviting you to the In the Black experience. Imagine waking up to the sound of waves, journaling with the sunrise, and ending your evenings with soulful reflections under the stars. This is more than a retreat. It's a space for deep healing, creativity, and connection with like-minded women. If you're ready to transform your pain into powerful purpose, the In the Black experience is calling you. Spots are limited. Reserve your place today.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of In the Black. I hope today's story left you feeling inspired and reminded of the incredible strength that lies in each of us. Our guest today has taken her toughest challenges and transformed them into something beautiful, reminding us all that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way to find light in the world.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe and share In the Black with another woman who could use a little encouragement. Together, we're building a community of passion, purpose, and power. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, your story matters. Your choices change things, and being your most authentic self can and will change the world around you.